Hello, and welcome to Weekly Look Ahead 10. All right, so here we are in a week that is our second week, finishing up, kind of thinking about Chapter 9, moving forward to our second midterm, and having Chapter 10 content posted. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on. So first of all, probably the biggest thing is this Friday, there's going to be an exam posted. That exam is going to show up at Chapter 9, right here in the Chapter 9 module. So it'll show up at the end of the module, it'll be the last page there. And if you take a look at the syllabus, you can clearly see that Exam 2 is going to cover Chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so that's why it's at the end of the module for Chapter 9, because that's the last module that it's covering, last chapter it's covering. All right, so that is momentum. Way back when we introduced momentum, after we'd finished with energy, and then our 2 chapters on rotation, and then most recently our chapter on fluids. The syllabus has fluids and solids, but remember I just had those 3 lectures on fluids, so that's what you need to cover. And talking about fluids, it was pointed out, I didn't notice this, but there was no audio for the video for lecture 31. I re-recorded that video, and it is posted, and now you have a video with audio if you check on that link there. All right, and so make sure that you go through, kind of refer back to all the lecture notes from those 4 chapters as you prepare for this Friday's exam. The other thing that you're really going to want to look at as you prepare for this Friday's exam, other than the study guide, is going to be, and of course the study guide's down here, all right, is going to be, of course, post quizzes. And there's 2 post quizzes that don't have solutions up yet, so that would be the solution for post quiz 8 and 9. I'm going to get those solutions up in the next day, so you have plenty of time to look at those and refer to them. And so you're going to have that as an important study aid. And certainly, during the exam, it being open note, you can refer to those solutions and help you on that. One problem that's going to be based on one of the post quizzes that was covered in these 4 modules, the chapter 6, 7, 8, or 9 module. Okay, but otherwise it's the exact same format. The time has shifted a little bit, as was mentioned before. So please pay attention that the exam is going to be taking place from 1 until 5 now. All right, that's the official open time of the exam. Contact me if you have any conflicts at all, but that is the scheduled time of the exam. Okay, all right. So that's kind of looking back to things that are happening. I suppose you got a lab due tomorrow is kind of the last final due date of that material. But mostly, you're kind of preparing for the exam and maybe starting to think about the fact that we do have new content that we're going to be transitioning to. I know many of you aren't going to be thinking too much about the new content until you take the exam, but I want to make a quick note about it, is that here it is. It's chapter 10. It's our first chapter of 3 chapters that cover thermal physics. So we got thermal physics, so named, then we have energy and thermal processes, and then finally the laws of thermodynamics. There's 2 of them. All right, and so those 3 chapters, that's an entire kind of part of the class, and then we have an exam just on those 3 chapters. So real quick turnaround on the next exam, but actually a very small amount of content. So hopefully you can really kind of make really good sense of it. I think this will be by far the easiest exam. And case in point, if you look at chapter 10, there's only 2 lectures. There's not that much content. Basically, the concepts can be broken down into thermal expansion, which is pretty straightforward problems, and then the ideal gas law. There's also something called the kinetic theory of gases that is included in the ideal gas law lecture. But that's it. It's just those 2 concepts, pretty self-contained. The challenge problem is up. Obviously, there's going to be a homework. There's going to be a lab. There's going to be other content that's going to fall within chapter 10. But if you want to get an idea of what that chapter is going to entail, you can look at these 3 documents so far: the two lecture notes, the guided lecture notes, and the challenge problem. And again, this is the entirety of the lecture notes. There's just 2 lectures. All right. Now there'll be a few more lectures in chapter 11 and 12, but still, there's not too much content covered in these 3 chapters. All right, so that's basically it. Send me any messages if you have any questions about this week, anything leading up to this Friday's exam. And thanks so much for watching this weekly look ahead. Bye for now.